Hey, good morning, everybody. Chad Brown here with Kinsler Brown and Real CFO Inc. Join me, Kyle Kinsler. And, we go through each week discussing some questions we get in the business world. And today we wanted to kind of jump into hiring. We see a lot of conversations out there, folks needing to fill positions and the right talent, the right pieces to the team. And as we've kind of learned through going through the peaks and valleys of business, is it's not really the business and the idea and what you do that creates a success. It's really about who you bring on the team to join you and build that success. And we went through a period of time in our business early on where we had positions we needed to fill. So we simply went out and we found people to fill those positions. Essentially, we put butts in seats.
Yeah, remember that.
Yeah,
remember that we did an organizational chart or an accountability chart, and we had, let's say we had 4 or 5 offices at the time or whatever it may be, and then who was the lead in each of those offices. And we had people that were in positions at those offices, kind of like lead roles, but they didn't really have the attributes that we were looking at. We didn't really know any better. So remember that.
Yeah.
So we did an exercise and really identified really what our mission was as an organization and what it was to be part of the Kinsler Brown organization. So we had about 40 different attributes that we could look at as far as being what are some attributes that individuals have, and what are those attributes that you want to identify within your business? We said, hey, we want to have what are the 5 to 7 attributes that we have and what makes us what we are? And then we were able to really kind of gauge the employees that we had, and were they part of that attribute? And we had a couple that really hit the mark, and then we had a couple that weren't hitting the mark whatsoever, but then we still had them in those positions, right?
Yeah, and this is, a much bigger process, and maybe, we'll discuss core values, because that was a step we did before this, but we wanted these attributes to align really with our core values as an organization. And the really neat thing is, I think working through the exercise is we came up with a number of attributes by simply going to our team and asking them who did they want to be within the organization, and who did they want to work with, and what qualities that people have, characteristics that people have that tie into our core values. And they created that list of 40, 50, 60. And then we really went in and we dove into what each one meant, and then collectively came up with 7. It was kind of a neat experience. And it was, I remember looking back on it, is when we were doing this, I think there were some people in that meeting that really took hold and saw where we were going, the vision, the clarity, and how they align with our core values. But there was a couple people that scared the shit out of, to be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, they were like,
oh,
okay, this is kind of a real thing. And we kind of could see that in the meeting, and it was shortly thereafter that some of the folks that maybe we had in the wrong seat chose to find opportunities elsewhere. That was kind of a blessing to the organization. But
no, and then also, so we broke that down, and we come up with the 7 attributes that we have, and how did we incorporate that because it was just kind of, there was a transition, like all of a sudden we're living these values. So when we went to hire people, we identified more, did they have those attributes, rather than so much did they have the skills to come in and work for us? Were they accountable? Do they have precision focus? Do they want to win the day? Are they disciplined in what they do? Do we have an eagerness to learn? I mean, do they want to just kind of keep on growing, as they are within the organization? And then just portraying that positive attitude type of thing. So one thing that we started doing within our, when we onboard people, or we have a tax class, so, and something that we really took hold of after we did this, when we had our first tax classes, and we really wanted to start individuals identifying as, if you're going to be part of the Kinsler Brown organization, what does it look like? So we would take one of those attributes and then the people within the tax class, and then they were hired, for us, but they would take one of those particular attributes and they would speak of that for a couple, 3 minutes or whatever it may be, and then kind of go around the room. And then what we had that came out of that class there were the ones that stuck around anyways. By the time it came into the tax season, they knew who they were, what Kinstler Brown represented, and then just kind of went from there. So it really, really helped right the ship. Yeah, number one, getting rid of probably the people that probably didn't meet those attributes, and really giving us a good foundation about who it is and what we are, because it's just it really was a turning point within our organization.
Yeah. No, 100%. It was a game changer, and we're not 100% on point with it. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes we need positions filled. We get lazy and we circumvent this process. And every time we've done that, it's created chaos and created issues within our business that it really reminds you how important that these are. So, in our interview process or onboarding process, we really go through and ask questions and really go down and funnel down into these key attributes. It's not always just the skill set. Can you do this? Do you have the skill sets, the education, everything to do it? But are you accountable? Are you accountable for your own actions? Do you have an eagerness to learn? And coming alongside that is the ability to let go of your ego and not know everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of gets brought up and exposed. Be present in all you do. Are they focused during the interview? Win the day, right? Or do they always have a mission to accomplish that day? And what do they do to make sure that mission is accomplished? Are they disciplined? Are they positive? Do they have focus, as Kyle mentioned earlier? So those are the 7 that we go through. And going into it, they know what the expectation of our organization is.
Mm-hmm.
And if we fail to do that, then we set ourselves up, and it doesn't take long to reveal itself.
Right. So that is an excellent practice to have if you're starting a business, and maybe you're starting out in your first couple, 3 years that you're in the business. It's don't wait for Chad and I, like we get down the road 15 years later and say, hey, we need to know who we are or whatever it may be, because it was really it really helped leap us forward as far as identifying who we were as an organization when we go to onboard people. And that's what it looks like. Do they live our values of who we are? So try to save yourself some time right now. Like if you're new to the business and you don't know what your attributes are, maybe you have a couple of people over here, they really hustle and they're living those attributes. You have a couple over here that probably they're not bringing you where you need to go to that next level. Really sit down and kind of break it down. And I remember too that we went through the exercise, and then we took all the employees that we had within our organization, and then we did a scorecard on all that as well. Yeah. And in fact, we part of our quarterly evaluations that we have on our employees, something we created the last couple of years, was the evaluations. Not so much the skill of the work. That's not always the measure, but do people have the attitude beyond just the aptitude to work within an organization, and do they have that eagerness to learn? On a scale of 1 to 5, where are they at? Yeah. And these are measures that we use within our organization. So it's a really good starting point to maybe even resetting your organization and taking it to the next level by identifying what those attributes are.
Yeah, if it's something you don't do, I'd recommend sitting down and just I'm a very simple person, A to Z, straight line. Sit down and write a list, right? Attributes that you like, people that you like to hang around with at work, that you've associated with over your career, that you have worked with in past jobs or during your self-employment journey or small business journey. Who have you enjoyed working with? What are key attributes that they have? What are the things that you vision the ideal employee having, and just write those down and define what each one means. And when you go and hire for a position, first analyze and make sure that you're putting these attributes and that vision of the person you want on your team first, front and foremost. Don't just hire a butt in seat, because if you put the wrong butt in the wrong seat, you're going to create chaos, drama, and it's going to hold your business back. And you're essentially putting a lid on your business if you do it. So, hey, if you guys have any more questions, drop them in the comments.
Yeah.
And let us know what your attributes are if you have them. But yeah, any questions, drop them in the comments, and we'll answer them over the next few weeks.
Yeah, if you need any guidance with it, I mean, we'd be more than happy to be here to help you out or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's been a good thing. So yeah, and we'll see you next time. So thank you very much, everybody.